It really started to happen when my brother was murdered.
Only a few times have I actually seen something like out in 3D space, and it's usually like before a major traumatic event.
I've always felt psychic, and I could talk to my parents about certain things, but there was a lot of other things going on too, and I didn't understand why I felt so different than everybody else and why I didn't fit in.
So ideas pop into my head, okay? So I just happen to know when it's my idea and when it's something I'm getting from the other side.
I felt separation. I felt I'm this freak that's walking around on this earth, and I just want to fit in.
And I want to say, for all the aspiring psychics and mediums out there, get ready, because your shit's gonna hit you in the face.
The game's on here. Yay! The round crew presenting. Bum, 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 bum. You start, Heather. Uh-oh.
Hi, Heather Hilton, Hartford, commongroundhealing.com, Common Ground Cafe on Facebook, Heather Hilton Hartford on Facebook. There you go.
And Abbie.
Hi, Abbie D'Agnese, Brightside Medium on Facebook, brightsidemedium.com.
And last but not least, Laura Chapman.
Hi, I'm Laura. Elsie Ryan Psychic Medium and elsieryan.com.
Awesome. All right. So today we are going to talk about, Abbie, you go ahead and introduce the topic because it's so cool.
You know, it made me laugh because I had a lot to say about this topic that we're going to do tonight.
Maybe that's why Erik told me must have told me to pick you to talk to introduce.
No, that's Erik being a sarcastic bastard right now.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what else is new?
Because I was the one that was like, oh God, this is going to be such a direct channel for me because I know nothing about astronomy or astrology, you know, really nothing about astrology. And Heather, what was the term we were going to use tonight? Because we're going to go over how it's like kind of the new age of Aquarius, and God, Laura has such a better way of explaining this. But
Yeah.
tonight with this because it's a direct channel. I know nothing about it.
Yeah, I was thinking we could start off just by saying like the difference between them, and then we could start like channeling the energy of it and how we're going to be progressing. I know a little bit more about just the difference between the two, just because I'm really into astrology and energy. But basically, what?
We didn't say yet what we were going to do.
Come on, please.
She's doing it.
I guess I'm doing it. So yeah, this channel is going to be about the Age of Pisces, and then also bridging the gap between the Age of Aquarius, which is right now. So the Age of Pisces was basically the last like 2,000 years. And it's basically just evolution, how we evolve. And it's kind of like Spirit always talks about how when we reincarnate onto this earth, we kind of, we're an energy. So they give me the visualization of the man on the moon. So there's the physical man in a spacesuit, and he's able to be on the moon because he has his suit. We're the same way in the fact that we are really an energy, and we can't be on this earth without some sort of a physical apparatus, much like the spacesuit for a spaceman. So the first half, that 2,000 years of the Age of Pisces, is just about kind of amnesia and doing the whole life cycle, learning, growing, evolution, evolving. Very like if you think of the masculine part, there's the masculine and the feminine energies. So masculine would be more like financial doing, and then feminine is more intuitive. So
Erik just said, what a ride, what a fucking shit show.
Yeah. So the age of Pisces is basically illusion and deception. It really plays on us being in amnesia, like just not being aware of the soul that's within us. We think we're basically the spacesuit. And so with that, people were able to really take advantage, and you see like the ugliness of the human spirit coming out. You see religion being used to control, to guilt, to shame, mass media and social conformity, really just controlling the whole narrative of what we're supposed to do.
Well,
So
that's interesting because I watched a YouTube. I'm sorry to interrupt a bit before
It's
I forget
okay.
that we're going from the stage of I believe, like I
Yeah.
believe idols, I believe medium, I believe the priest, to I know. The
Yeah.
Aquarius is more of I know inside.
Eric's totally, I can't believe what I'm seeing right now, what he's showing me. And I know Laura.
I hope his pants are on.
Laura, I did a reading last night where he talked about farts, and it made her cry because it was spot on.
Oh my God.
Anyway, yeah, he's like that.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to interrupt Laura, but I want to say what he's showing me, and then Laura, since you know about astrology way more, I want you to tell me what this means. He's talking about, he's showing me how in December there was an alignment of planets, moons, and stars. And he's talking about how, so he's showing me this like rare combination. And he said, so he's saying, okay, there was a joining of planets, moons, and stars in December. And we're switching from, so he's showing me the chaos, needing to break into a million pieces, the chaos, to realize what's important and what we need. And this change he's showing me to Aquarius is about coming into alignment and coming together from being disconnected to segregated, from segregated and disconnected to connected in all one. And that's what he's showing about the planets and how the alignment has come. And he goes that, we don't realize that the planets are showing us what we need to be doing. And he said, this is slow. And by spring, there's going to be a big shift. Right now, it's very, very slow. January, February, March, we're expecting this big shift, and we do feel kind of out of place, but by full-blown spring, by the end of spring, we're going to see some major changes.
Please, guys.
What's interesting about what you were saying, Heather, is I think we're in February, right? February 2021, 7 planets are in Aquarius. Last time this happened, the Dark Ages and the plagues ended, and the Renaissance, the rebirth began. So that's what you're seeing right now. Yeah. Because
he's showing me December too. So something happened in December.
December was like a kickoff of, it was like there was a huge
the 21st, wasn't that some big day?
Yeah, there was a huge push. It's kind of like goes back and forth. Some people feel like the Age of Aquarius started in 2012, and then other people think it started now.
So
that's why he's saying that it's taking it's going to take time. It's very slow. But he's showing me, you were talking about the plague, and then he's yes, absolutely, I saw that too. And then he's talking about the economic problems, and he said the last time this happened was the Great Depression.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Abbie.
Again, I know nothing about this. So Eric's trying to sit right now and like dumb it down. But he's bringing this up. He's saying, okay, the astronomy wise, the stars in the sky, like how there's Cancer and Pisces and like the twins up in the sky, the stars and stuff. He's saying, do you think that was an accident? The measurements between each of the celestial systems, I think that's what he's calling it, and he's saying that those mean something and those represent something. He's going, the Greeks got it.
Yes, that's what he was saying. Keep
I still
going.
don't get it. I don't know what the hell he's talking about, but
I know, I don't either. So he's talking about this is actually bringing us in from this me stage to we, and he's talking about it. This is coming to free will and choice and learning to understand each other. This is an opportunity for a huge growth. What are we going to do with it? He's like, are we going to fucking waste it? This is why the extraterrestrials are trying to come to us, and why we have crystal children and why we have indigo children, because this is the time. And it's going to be, he's talking about a couple thousand years. So we're not going to see it in our lifetime, but it's beginning now. And it's the water sign. So think about the Aquarius, and he's telling me Aquarius, and I'm married to an Aquarius, so this makes sense. They're very, very intuitive. So this is what we're stepping into. But they seem very detached, he's saying. But it's always for the greater good, because they're thinking, and they're trying to think for the whole.
Mm-hmm. It is, and that's interesting that you say that, Heather, because if we look at the difference between the age of the Pisces and the age of Aquarius, you really do go from this like collective naivety, this following of the masses and being brainwashed. And when you have a sign like Aquarius, like you said your husband is, you have people that are really like dancing to the beat of their own drum. They're really listening to themselves. They're following their inner voice, and they're creating life. Aquariuses are independent thinkers.
They're freaking complicated as shit. I can tell you that.
Oh,
they are.
My new grandbaby, Juliet. She's the Aquarius, I guess.
Oh, I love
Oh yeah. Good
Juliet,
luck.
The
I
cool
love
thing
Aquarians. I am so attracted to Aquarians, though.
Aren't they supposed to be very science?
They're very, very, very intuitive, very gifted, very special.
But
and they will
science-minded.
never
So is Aquarius
science.
an age of science where science has some sort of revolution or not? I don't know anything about it either.
Yes.
So yeah, Aquarius rules technology, and they also think outside the box. They are very
That's what he was just
minded.
That's what he was just showing me.
Wow.
They see
They're
through
computer.
corruption. They see through corruption. You can tell them something and it can sound like it is the best thing since sliced bread. And Aquarius will look at it and be like, I'm going to do my own research. Like, I need to listen to myself at this.
Yeah, listen to their hearts. In other words, they do that. They don't believe in false idols. They don't listen.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's something
Yeah.
I've had to learn how to do over time. Slow.
Can I just add something before I lose it?
Yeah.
Go.
Okay, so he is bringing up to me about how if you notice more people recently have had headaches, he says that's because he's saying the pressures, he's calling it solar pressure, is enhancing them. He says so a lot more you're going to hear a lot more and see a lot more headaches, or have a lot more headaches yourself. It's just going to be more prevalent than it's ever been. With the migraines, and it has a lot to do. He's bringing up the measurements between those, things in the sky that I was telling you about.
Yeah.
About geometry, yeah.
And going into hermit mode. People are just so tired of falling into line, following the crowd. They're really just starting to go within and saying, what do I want? What is it that I want to do? And as far as like the crystal kids coming out, you can see this with like the millennials, and then also Gen X? The newer kids that came out.
Gen Y, maybe? Gen Y?
Gen Y, I think. Those kids, they're not doing the things that the older generations are doing. They're not getting those 9-to-5 jobs. They're not going to college as much, or doing these like
outside of the box.
They're completely outside of the box, and that's for a reason. They're really meant to just expand how we work and really like connect to who we are authentically.
I like that.
Erik says that, okay, we've got the crystals and the indigos, and we've heard of that. Now he's talking about Lemurian children, Atlantis children, and he's talking about that it's bringing back the old ages in we're talking there's going to be there's a lot of extraterrestrial, which is a big wide term saying that it's not the usual fit in the box human being, which is going to bring us all together and help us.
Erik, what about your new niece? What is she?
Juliet is she's a fighter. She's also she's a tall white. She's a tall white.
Oh, cool.
So she's got a little bit of a pointy chin.
I haven't seen her hardly because COVID.
Okay, but he's talking about she's a tall white, and tall whites are coming to this planet. This is news to me because I was a tall white in a past life. But he says they're coming to this planet in droves because they're the ones who want to heal. They want to heal this planet. You know, there's all kinds of extraterrestrials that want to heal the planet. The tall whites are coming.
Can't depend on us humans to do it.
So I you know, if it was me in my conscious mind saying, I'd say, yeah, she's a crystal child. But no, Erik's saying she's not. She's the one that he was just talking about, that where we're passing beyond crystal children.
Well, what do you want to call this new generation that Juliet is in?
This new generation is it's going to be some.
I'm hearing free thinkers.
Free, yep, free, independent thinkers, but it's otherworldly, and I don't know what word they're going to come up with it, and he's you know, because they don't talk human language.
Oh yeah,
so he's not giving me words. He's just giving me like the images, and all I can see is like the sky, the universe, the Milky Way, and he's like, this is the beauty that's coming to our planet now.
Well, what about you mentioned Atlantis and Lemurians? Are Atlanteans and Lemurians coming in and incarnating in children now?
Yes.
I was in Atlantis, apparently.
Yep.
That's why I named everything Atlantis. I called it Atlantis. I had a company called Atlantis. It's so weird.
Well, you were a Lemurian too.
Oh, wow. Okay.
There's also a D word that you were also coming through. There's like a D word, but I can't really, I don't know that word. Like it's not in my vocabulary, so it's.
I know it's so hard.
Say it again because I stepped on you.
Like a D word.
Say the whole sentence.
There's a D word.
It's a D word, like a demiri.
Okay, like another continent, another.
It's another name of like another ET, like demir. Nah.
The Dogon? I can't remember what those are though.
Dogon. It's a Dogon or Dorgon or yes.
Okay.
And he's saying something about small grays also are coming in. I don't know if that's a thing because again, total big conversation here that's way out of the realm of whatever.
I thought they were bad.
I guess you have to have. He says you have to mix karma because you have to mix it with some chaos, right?
They were scared.
Oh, what about the reptilians? Is there going to be any attempt to get rid of the reptilians?
Laura, what do you get on that?
Heather, you give me the worst one.
I'll take it.
You know I don't like the reptilians in there.
I know you don't. And that's why.
Put me on the spot.
Love you, girl.
Oh my God.
Okay, so I want to share something that I experienced that I don't know if anybody else experiences this or anybody else who's listened to this YouTube when it comes out, but for years when I first wake up in the morning and you know, I open my eyes and I look around, I see lizards. And they're like a white outline, and when I look at them, they'll crawl away. This has been years, and so but they're not bad. It's another dimension. The lizards, there are some there's so many different dimensions we can't even count them.
Oh yeah.
So when you think of the lizards, don't always think they're bad. It's the ones that that trick you, or the dark energy, or the ones that, you know, they make you feel. Erik says it's when you feel the pressure. When these types of reptilians come in, you feel pressure. But there's good ones too.
Well, are there good ones and bad ones in the same race of reptilians, or are there reptilians that are an entire race that wants to do us harm, and there's other races that don't?
Just like humans, there's some races that are in the other dimension that have a little bit of duality, but they also, it's the dense energy that tries to hide.
I gotta bring this up real quick.
Go ahead.
I'm being brought to think about Genesis in the Bible with the snake and
yeah, that was Enki. I think it was Enki. The Anunnaki.
Okay, convincing Eve. Yeah. And so I'm being brought to think about that and think about, like, that wasn't a mistake, is what my guides are saying.
Yeah.
And Erik agreeing with them. And as far as like it in the Bible is concerned, it's brought to what we're talking about right now with the reptilians, and that's actually like the ET that in the Bible they were referring to.
Oh wow.
They teach us lessons.
Yep, that's true.
And Erik says, with contrast, there's chaos, man. He says, you need it though. That's the point of being here. He says that's what you need. That's why we come here. He says, remember, it's your choice. You come here, you plan this.
So as light workers with all of us here, Laura picks up the weirdest shit on her phone.
Oh my God.
That's why I don't like to talk about it.
She picked up an extraterrestrial on her phone, and it's been freaking her out ever since.
No.
So I think we should ask Erik about that.
Good one. Well, there's no bad or good. But
I think it's a good one. I'll
show you the picture. I'll show you. It's freaky. It's really freaky.
So Erik says we're stepping into that age where that's going to happen more and more, because they're starting to make themselves known, because they're like, you know, Earth is part of our universe. If Earth fucks up, we're all fucked.
Yeah, collective thing.
Yeah.
There. It's hard to get it, but
that's cute. It looks like a hybrid kid.
Yeah.
It is really. I don't know if you guys can see it.
It's not evil. It's
it
not
doesn't look
evil.
like it. It
No.
looks nice. I don't know for supper. You know, get a feel for it.
Well, that one looks like a fairy, and it's apparently an ET. And this is something I've been realizing. There are like spirit guides, and there are fairies, and there are things that people think are not ETs, and they are ETs.
Yes.
They come in all forms. And that picture happened right before Ryan died, like a couple weeks before he crossed.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's funny because we think that, you know, we think so linear, and like we have like these ETs that we know of, you know, the all whites, or I don't even know. I'd have to research it, because I don't research anything because it throws me off.
Yeah.
But Erik says there are so many fucking dimensions that we have no idea.
Yeah.
How much is out there.
Bigfoot is from one of them. That's why we find him. He just slips.
That's another dimension. That's why I see these
for vacation, and then oh my God, let's go, because they're gonna find us, and then that's why we really have a hard time finding them.
That's why I see these lizards, and they're not scary. They're beautiful, bright light.
Wow.
But
I gotta break it down preschool style for Abbie, and he's showing me a clip in my head of Men in Black. You know, the movie when like there's all the different and, like some of them are really adorable little families.
Oh.
Yeah, it's true.
Some of them are not so good. They open their mouth and they're like 15 rows of teeth.
You know how some people, like, obviously we do it as psychics and we like predict things and we can see like prophecies, see ahead. For a long time, people kept saying that Aquarians, like the actual sign of an Aquarius, they're basically aliens. It's in every meme. It's like everywhere.
I agree with that.
Wow.
And so
they don't, because none of them are comfortable in their own skin.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Well, what we did with our Aquarian children, so that they are comfortable in their own skin. We can't let that happen. And they're ushering in shepherding and
That's why the shift is changing, Mom. That's why the shift is changing, Mama. I don't know that. Did that make sense?
Okay, so
that's why the shift is changing.
Yeah.
So it's changing perspective.
I'm hearing self-care, teaching self-love and positive reinforcement, just like with any sign is important.
And so also, I guess if others are ascending into 5D, then you can have more of a support, system for these children. And I'm going to do that spiritual online school here pretty soon, hopefully.
That's really going to help a lot of kids. And like, I see a lot more people kind of as they do their own thing and as they're really looking within at what they're here to do to help humanity, there's going to be a lot of avenues for these kids coming up, or these people that are even in our age, to either take part or to be like a participant in learn.
Yeah.
So
are there any negative aspects of this new age? And then, well, let's first talk about the negative, and then we talked about some of the good, but I want to hear more about that. So what are some negative, if any, points of the Aquarian age? I mean, there were in the Pisces age, so.
Yeah, it's like you see people having to change, and they are just like, they go crazy and they start going violent, or they start like lashing out. You're seeing it kind of in the world right now where people are like, hey, this is not okay. Let's change this. It's happening. And people are not okay with it.
Right. Yeah.
I'm getting the scales of judgment, the balance,
Yes.
It's just that it still needs to have that balance. And, that's just the way it has to be.
Well, we don't have it now. We haven't had that for a long time.
Yeah.
That's actually,
things are probably so chaotic.
It's interesting that you bring that up, Abbie, because that is what the Age of Aquarius is. First and foremost, it's basically the Justice card with that balance energy, and how you see, like, Heather had brought this up. Like, when I first met Heather, she talked about the Me Too movement, and you see these movements happening in that energy. But there's going to be people on the opposite side that are like, hey, we want you to stay down. Like, you could see religions,
like cancel culture and all that.
All of it. Yeah. And sometimes you can take a good thing too far,
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Even the Me Too, there were people who used that to their advantage.
That was one of the major reasons, people had a huge problem with, and we're not going to talk about politics, but with the way we were run the past 4 years, but there a lot of good came out of that, and the Me Too movement was one of them.
Right.
So the things that are put into place for us are helping us along with our change. We have free will and choice, and that is the only negative that comes out of these shifts. The only negative is free will and choice, because we have that egoic self that we hang on to. We have the free will and choice to make the decision on what we do with this energy that we're given, with this new energy that we're given, and the new culture that we're seeing, and things that are changing. Are you going to hold on to the past? Are you going to be angry? Are you going to be like, well, this is not the way I wanted it? Or are you going to be open arms and saying, you know what, let's unite together. Let's do this together. Let's all understand each other and support the growth in everybody.
I'm not seeing that at all now.
Not yet, because because Erik said that's why in the beginning he said this is good. This is very incremental. It's very slow.
Okay. We just have to be patient.
Yeah. But I also think that if anybody else has anything to say about this topic, but I think that we should still do random shout out readings like we usually do on the round table.
Okay, one more thing. Any more of the two more things, actually, good things that we need to talk about? I mean, I think we're shifting to unity consciousness from polarity, contrast consciousness. I think we're going from survival of the fittest by, just squashing your competition versus survival of the fittest by cooperating and collaborating with one another. But is there anything else?
Yeah, the biggest thing is the technology aspect of the Aquarius sign, you're going to see more people doing what they feel in their soul, what they truly feel like they're meant to be doing. And by like igniting that joy part of themselves, you're getting somebody who has like 100% capacity to put into something that they love and make it greater. So you're going to see technology across the board, creative outlets across the board, just getting better and better and better, like so much growth. And then people working together. It's kind of like the example that Spirit gives me is anybody can do anything, but if you're like naturally good at doing the piano, play the piano. If you're naturally good at doing cooking, be a cook. And you're going to see people step into those roles, and the advancements are going to be off the, how do I say this, off the rails, because again, it's like if you look at manifestation and joy, when you're joyful and you're doing what you love and you believe in what you're doing, anything can be possible.
Yes,
So you're
and abundance of every kind comes, love, health, wealth, etc. So no longer are the, oh, my mom wants me to be a doctor or whatever. Those days are hopefully gone.
Yeah, so massive growth in technology.
Okay, one last thing. What is it? I know I won't be around for it, at least not this body. What's the next stage? The next age, 2,000 or plus years from now?
I don't know about that far. You have to take that.
2,000 years from now.
2,000, yeah. I mean, there was Pisces, Aquarius. I wonder what the next one is and what it's going to be like. Oh, it's insignificant. None of us are going to be there. I'm just curious.
He's telling me it's going to be about Earth.
Oh, good.
He's showing me this, it's not a liquid and it's not a solid. It's almost like a gel, but it looks like glass that a lot of buildings are going to get made of. And he's saying something about carbon fiber. He's saying about introducing a new element to technology. Ooh. And I think what he uses element as in like the periodic table of elements.
Oh.
That is much more environmentally, he says, eco-friendly.
Yeah, that's cool.
You can always tell when I'm channeling because I say smart things like that.
Oh, you're so smart anyway.
Right.
I remember when in Erik's book, he describes buildings there in Afterlife that are actually made of spirits themselves. They create these buildings. And
it's hard to understand when you see them. I'm simple mean girl. I'm like, I don't know what the hell is looking at.
No, me neither.
He's saying that sound wave technology is gonna like really advance, like a lot further than just. He says, man, ultrasound is just a joke. He says as far as like sound wave technology and color and light, it's just all going to, he says, I can't even express the quadruple, he says, effect, because it's not really about that.
Cool.
But Heather's right. It's much more going to be about Mother Earth. He says that the ego is going to die aside. That's actually really interesting. He's saying that. He's saying that the ego is going to die aside, and he's showing me like even like the clothing and things like that. People are not going to be so driven anymore to have to be such individualized because of the frequency that they're feeling with each other. They can feel each other's individualism with
We're gonna be naked. Everybody gonna be naked next age.
Totally changing the vibration of the Earth. It's going to be a really different vibration.
There's going to be other different animals too
cool.
that are like in heaven right now that we can't even imagine. Like he's showing me this cool like jaguar looking. It's like a jaguar cheetah looking thing, but it's going to be down here and it's like going to be like a pet.
That is so cool. Like I've been watching his Dark Materials, this series where you have two dimensions, parallel worlds, and on one world they have their daemons where they each have this animal that when you come of age picks a shape to stay in because it shape shifts otherwise. Yeah, Erik talks about these amazing animals in his book also.
He's showing me this really neat bird too, like with this
he wrote about that. Yeah, that's so cool. All right, you want to do a shout out?
Yeah.
Shout outs.
I've got a few that I've been writing down. Do you, Abbie? Do you or Laura? or should I go?
I wrote down a couple. You can go first, Heather.
Well, I'm getting a Julie or a Julia, and that's a shout out to you about the waves in the ocean. And that's going to mean something to you. And it means I'm here, and it's confirmation. And then there's a Robert, and he died of COVID. And he says it was an exit point for me, but please don't grieve as hard thinking that I died in this nasty thing, because there are many exit points that we have, but this exit point was better than what I would have had in the future, because I had health problems. So then the last one that came through was Gert or Gertie or Gertrude. She had a cottage. Okay, and she's talking about keep it going, stop fighting. We're family. Be together. Keep it together. Keep the cottage together as a family. This is Gert or Gertie or something like that.
Cool. Anything else?
I have a couple.
Okay.
So I have a Beth, and I wrote them down while we were talking, just so you know. So Beth, and I have a message here that you don't need to be uniform. You don't have to fit into the expectations. I feel like maybe it's more of a family situation. Like, I feel like career-wise, there's some really big questions there. Maybe she's just going into like a career from a high school situation, and she feels like she has these really big expectations. Like I hear big shoes to fill. And Erik wants you to know, like, just do what you feels right for you. He says, just fucking relax. You need to chill. And then I have a Mark that passed from COVID, and I believe that his wife was a Heather. And I'm getting that he says, I love you, baby. I'm still here. I'm with you when you cry. I'm with you when you daydream. That's really me touching you. And he says, have no fear. Your husband is here.
Oh.
And then I'm getting for like a Miles. Erik's actually giving him advice. He's saying, you need to calm, breathe. Just remember to breathe, because I'm seeing this young man right now that just like he gets really anxious, and it prevents him from like going in the stores and things. I think it's because maybe he has issues with like I'm hearing like OCD or something, like issues with like touching things, like the germs, and the whole situation is really like sketching him out bad. So Erik's trying to like tell him, you know, go 1, 2, 3, breathe in, 1, 2, 3, breathe out. So he's going through these breathing exercises. And then I have one more for a Lisa or a Liz, and I'm just getting this image of this mother. I'm getting the 62. I'm getting like a beach house, and I think it's like on the sea.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Lost her, I think.
Go ahead, Laura, until she comes back.
Okay.
Okay. So I did get a spirit named Dave. Hi, Abbie. Are you back?
Yeah.
We didn't catch the end of that one.
Oh, there's a lot of spirits. I'm sorry.
I know, they're probably messing with it.
Lots of spirit energy. What was the last one you guys heard?
It was like broken up at the end. I think the last one you did was at the end.
John, we just got into a car accident.
Okay.
You okay? Sorry, my husband just got into a car accident.
Uh-oh.
You okay? I have to go.
Okay, yeah, you better go, yeah.
I love you guys. Go ahead and finish
Love
up.
you too. Message me in a bit.
Okay.
All right, bye.
Prayers and love. Yeah.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Love you.
Ugh, what a pain. Oh, I hope he's okay. It sounds like he is.
Yeah.
Right. So, who was talking?
So I think it was.
Oh, she's broken up again.
Abbie, are you there? Abbie, I can't hear you. You're muted.
Oh no.
Okay, go ahead. Laura, you take over.
They're taking over.
Up.
This is yours. They got her.
So I have a man named Dave who came through, and he works on like stone walls. He does stone chimneys, basically just stone work. And I see that he died with a stroke, and he had like a lit cigarette that just kind of fell on him. There's a significance to that. He wants you to know that he's okay. He's playing baseball up in heaven, and he loves the necklace that you have for him in his memory. And then I got another one. This is for a specific person named Monica or Monique. And this was actually from your spirit guides, and they were saying that they love the like witchy potions, the herbs, the cards, and the crystals, and to just keep going with that your abilities are going to continue to expand. So keep going. And that's awesome. The two that I got.
Abbie,
I got one more. I gotta say one more. This guy Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah. This guy Bill. He says, "Go Bucks."
That's funny.
He says, but still, fuck Brady. I'm from New England. I'm a Pats fan. I'm mad at him for going, but I won't get into it.
That's funny. That is great.
No, it's amazing.
All right. Well, thank you, Round Table crew. Everybody give some prayers and love to Heather's husband. I hope he's okay. I think he is. And what a mess. And I love you guys. And until we're going to have our monthly Roundtable crew, and I will put all the information in the description box. Love you guys. Love you, Erik.
Bye.
Bye guys.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.